Hello and welcome back to the Ithaca College YouTube channel. This is my second official vlog. If you don't remember me, my name is Megan, and today I'll be taking you through my typical day as a remote student this semester. So one thing you should know before we start is I'm technically part-time. I didn't want to defer because I'm a busy person, so doing nothing would have driven me nuts. So this semester I'm in one class and I have 2 internships. So my main internship is at Rugged Entertainment, which is a production company based out of LA and owned by Academy Award nominated director Peter Spyrer. Don't ask me how I got here. The other is at bookster.com, which if you're not familiar, it's basically like BuzzFeed for all things book lovers, book-related media, things like that. So now that that's over, I'm gonna take you through what my typical day looks like. When I wake up, I always start with my coffee, whether it's coffee machine, I've got kind of a setup here in my space, or I live about a minute from a Dunkin', which is very dangerous for my bank account. So one thing you'll think is kind of funny about my setup is I do this thing called simulated sunlight, which is where I use a ring light and a happy light, and it keeps my space nice and bright all day so that I don't fall asleep.
So it feels like you're sitting in the sun.
So the first thing I do Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays is I have my class, which is Fiction 2 with Raul Palma, who is amazing. The greatest thing about this class is that the workshop is very open-ended and we're able to bring in anything. So this is the first time I'll have eyes on a novel I've been working on for over a year, and I'm terrified, but grateful. After my class, I have a break from about 11 to 1. During that break, I usually go to lunch either with one of my parents or I make lunch at home, but sometimes I can't help it and I just go back to bed. I'm keeping in mind that this is my last semester before things get really serious. I only have 3 semesters left and I'm in only major classes for the rest of my time at Ithaca, so I've been trying to relax. Not sure how well that's going. So like I said, on days that I don't go back to bed, I'll either go to lunch with one of my parents, or one other thing I like to do is play my Switch. I have this game called Bring Fit Adventure, which is like a little workout game, which helps me from feeling so sedentary by like sitting all day. Then every day from 1 to 5, and sometimes later, depending on a deadline or how close we are on a project, I'm working on my internships. Bookster is more open than Rugged. The articles just kind of pour in all day. I'm an editor and a writer, so whenever an article pops up, I'll take it and edit it, and I try to post at least one of my own articles a week. Here is just one of the ones that I've made, but I've posted about 15 articles so far, and I edit somewhere between 5 and 10 articles a week. So with Rugged, I'm working pretty consistently through the hours I set. Some of the things I do are editing for promos, helping researching for development, and creating pitch decks. I'd show you, but it's all confidential. So after 5 and for the rest of the day, I meet with my COVID pod. If you're not familiar with the term, although I'm sure you are, the COVID pod is just a couple people who see each other exclusively so that there's no chance of spreading to other people. I'm fortunate enough that I have a few people at home who are willing to be safe, so we stay in our pod and we do things together. We do video shoots for my own YouTube channel, we do photo shoots, and sometimes we just do plain study groups. Either way, it's been really great to not be completely alone at home. Now that we've talked about that, I figured I'd share a couple internship tips because I am on my 2nd and 3rd internship while I'm at Ithaca, so let's get right into it. So the first tip is apply to a ton of internships, like a lot. When I applied to internships for this semester, I think I applied to near 50, and I heard back from 6 to 8. I was really fortunate to have internships to choose from between those 6 to 7 because you really want to feel like you fit with a company. You shouldn't take an internship just to have one. Take one that you think will help you grow professionally, be creative, whatever it is in your field. So apply to a lot so that you have that option to find the one that fits best for you. So the next tip is to really show your personality in applications for internships and honestly anything. So in my experience of interviewing for all of these internships, I found that employers seem to be more responsive when you're honest and personal. As a freshman, I worried so much about being professional and clean and mature, but honestly, having a one-to-one honest conversation will give you a better sense of what the employer is like and if you would have a good relationship. For Bookster, I interviewed with the CEO and we joked about our mutual love of clementines, and now I have the job. I don't know if these things are related, but moral of the story is be yourself. So the third tip is to make real connections with your team. I know this can seem hard during COVID, but even in a remote setting, it's really important to know the people you're working with.
Megan?
Hey, Peter.
Usually you'll find the higher-ups are more approachable than you think, and you'll find some team members who have similar passions and might even make some friends. My internships may be ending this summer, but my friendships that I've made hopefully won't. So the last tip is to really create things you're proud of at your internship. Hollywood likes you to think that interns are just running for coffee or filing or doing the grunt work, but if you've found a good one, that's usually not the case. For creative internships, you should feel valued or like you've added something to the project. Through my work at Rugged, I've been fortunate enough to work closely with Peter, and he's asked my opinions on projects. It felt almost like culture shock at first. Like, me? You want my opinion? But take those opportunities and run with them. Your perspective is important too, especially if you're bridging a generational gap. Everyone has different experiences, and all of those can make any project stronger. So that is the end of my tips and my vlog. I hope these help you if you're applying, and good luck if you are. Anyway, so thank you so much for coming back to the Ithaca College YouTube channel. Once again, I am Megan Handley. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!
Cameraman, sing me a song, you're the cameraman.